Hello, everyone. Since today is the last Saturday in June, I thought I would share my coming out story with you. Obviously now I identify as a trans man and pansexual, and uh, where it started was when I was little. Even like I can remember being like in first grade, kind of wishing like, why can't I be one of the boys? And I was just like, I wandered around now around without a shirt and kind of just rough and tumble with the boys. But oh, I was a tomboy. Like it was whatever. Didn't think any of it. Thing of it. I was a kid. Um, and then skip up to like middle school, and that's kind of where everything started mostly. So I started using this chatting site online called Avachara. And I was in this chat room for hours talking with this girl called Minion Lover 13. Let me tell you, this girl impacted my life so much. I still remember her username from when I was like 12. Okay? That's how much of a problem this became for me. Um, so I would wait for her to get online and then we'd chat for hours. And then one day she's like, "Are you gay?" And I'm like, "What's that?" And she was like, "Oh my God, you don't know." And I'm like, "No, what don't I know?" She's like, "Do you like girls?" And I was like, I had never thought about it. I didn't know that was an option. Okay. Keep in mind at this point, I only knew I was allowed to like boys. And at that point, I had already like had my first kiss and I already had like a kind of boyfriend. But being like 12, it didn't really count anyway. But so the next day I tell my best friend and I'm like, I think I like girls. And she was like, what do you mean you like girls? And I'm like, I don't know. I maybe. And I was like so confused because I had to process that. And I was like, do I like girls? Like instantly it made sense in my mind that I liked girls. Like in my head, something just was like, I like girls. After I knew that was a possibility, I like girls. So at the time I was like, I don't know. Anyway, so going to eighth grade, uh, so I had two best friends, and the one I told that I was gay to, uh, she wasn't really around much because we had a whole issue. She was going through her own trauma, and so she couldn't also like put up with me at the time. I had undiagnosed autism. I had ADHD. It was a little bit of a problem. So we were on and off friends, but my best friend at the time, she was like, "I want you to kiss me." I was like, "What?" She's like, "I want you to kiss me. I want to know if I like girls." It's like, "Okay." So I kissed her. And then for me, it really just it clicked in my head. I like girls. Like from then on, I was set in stone. I did like girls. I liked the way it felt. It was a good time. I think every person can say they've kissed. Every girl can say they've kissed their best friend at least once. Every single one. Anyway, so I kissed her, and then I started dating this boy, and I figured out I was bisexual. I identified as bisexual at the time because that's the word I knew, and it felt right. And then I got to high school and I joined GSA. And then in GSA, I started finding out about a little bit more, but I didn't attend meetings very often, and so I was like, I was nervous because I had been like, oh no, I didn't even know that people had problems talking to their families yet. I just knew, oh no, what if what if my parents don't like me anymore? Because I like girls. I'm supposed to like guys. Like in my head, it was mind blowing. Keep in mind, my dad's family very religious, very Christian. It was just nothing that like I had thought about. Anyway, um, but um, GSA, I find out I like girls, and then I started just kind of dating the boys around, and so skip to sophomore year. I've got my mom's fucking Kindle, and I started talking. Well, my dad gave me a phone. It didn't have service or anything. I could only use it on Wi-Fi, but I had this thing called Friend Life. I started talking to this girl online, and first thing in the morning, we would call each other, and we would talk to each other all day. My phone would stay on the charger all day, and we'd sit there and we'd just talk all day. And I was fucking obsessed with her, and like I had a crush on her, but like I didn't realize it at the time. Years later now, I'm like I had a crush on that girl. Anyway, but I started talking to this other girl, and her name was Amy, and she was my first girlfriend. It was long distance. We didn't really do anything. She was really pretty. I still regret breaking up with her to this day. I broke up with her to date this guy who's a girl now, that I had been like, who I had had a crush on since like fifth grade. Biggest regret of my life. We ended up only dating like a week, and then I was like, this isn't working. I don't have feelings for you anymore. And she was like, okay, that's fine. I didn't think it was working that well either. And so we're still friends and everything. I love her so very much. Um, anyway, so skip on forward to like junior year. And so I meet this guy named Kellen, and he was dating my current boyfriend at the time, and he was trans. And I was like, I hadn't met anybody who was trans before that point, and if I had, I didn't know because I wasn't really in GSA a lot. Like sophomore year, I don't think I went to GSA even once, just because like I was like not in it, man. Anyway, but I meet this guy, and I had a crush on him immediately, and I was like, also, that's an option. Anyway, but I started going to GSA and everything, and I started learning more about like gender identity and sexuality. And by the end of that year, I was identifying as gender fluid and pansexual. Uh, yeah, I had officially moved over to pansexual because I was like, I don't really like people based on appearance. For me, I I can think you're hot, but I won't want to really sleep with you or date you. I mean, like, I want to sleep with you like a little bit, but there's like no emotion there. It's just, it sounds like a fun time for me. Anyway, but so when I like somebody, normally I like to start off as friends, and then once I get to know you, I start falling in love with you, and then I think you're really cool, and then like I start developing an emotional attachment. And that's very hard for me. But anyway, so again, I have to think you're funny and smart before I can want to be with in a relationship with you and want to sleep with you and be together. Okay? That's how dating for me goes. Just cuz I won't find you more than just like a good time if there's nothing else there. You're just like one off for me. Anyway, but I started identifying as gender fluid because since I was a freshman, I had been wearing jeans and like a snow coat and covering my hair. Like I didn't like how I looked. I didn't like my hair. And so senior year comes around, and I chop my hair as short as I can get it. My dad was very strict about not letting me cut my hair because he wanted me to look like a girl. Anyway, but so I chop my hair as short as I can. I have the side shaved and one side long. Anyway, but so I start dressing more masculine, and I start wearing ties and suits and things. And everybody's like, "Why did you stop wearing dresses?" And I'm like, "It's just more comfortable for me." And like, okay. So, uh backtrack a little bit. So junior year, um my brother's fiance started living with us at that point. She had been living with us for a few years. I'm like, she knew I was gay, and I'm like, okay, how do I tell my parents I'm gay? And I'm like, Cheyenne, can you tell our parents for me that I'm gay? I can't do it. I'm too nervous. Like I don't know what they're gonna say. She's like, okay. So she does it, and then afterwards I talk to my parents. Like, we've been know you were gay. It's like glass. We can see you, but you can't see us. Like we've been knew you were gay since you were a little kid. Like we were taking bets on how long it was gonna take for you to come out at this point. Anyway, so it was all well and dandy, and then my mother reminds me my Aunt Jess is a lesbian and had a kid with a girl. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot. And that Big John, this guy that's a friend of the family, also was gay. He had boyfriends that stayed over all the time. And I'm just fucking oblivious and stupid and forgot. Anyway, But it was super sweet, super easy. And then I told my immediate family that like I live with and everything, because like my senior year is when I started telling my extended family. I told my cousins on my stepdad's side, and like I said it on like Facebook, like, "Hey, I'm Pan," and that's all I really left it at because I wasn't ready for anything else. Anyway, senior year, I started figuring out that I don't like being feminine at all. So we got through senior year, and as soon as senior year is over, I got this fucking haircut for the first time, and it was the best thing ever. I liked how I looked in the mirror a lot more, and then I started binding, and I really started liking how it was looking with the binding and the haircut, and my muscles were growing, and I was looking a lot more masculine, and it felt so good. And I was like, I had been in denial since junior year. I was like, I'm not trans. I can't be trans. Like, I can't be. And then, like, I finally gave in and I started therapy. And I went and they're like, yeah, I think you're trans. And so I started using the label, see how it felt, using he, him, and everything. And I was like, this feels right. This is what's comfortable. This is who I am. Keep in mind, I had been going by Ash since I was a junior because I don't even like my birth name. Like, it feels wrong. Like, every time I have to use it or hear it or have to write it, it is like, it just is soul crushing. I hate it so much. Um, so, um, I figure out I'm trans and I got my prescription to start hormone therapy, which I started a year ago. Already posted a video about that, well, over a year ago at this point. And now, where I'm at a year later, with a lot more square in my face, I'm starting to shave my face a lot more. Like, I've shaved last week and then I had to shave this week. Like, it's getting closer and closer. Like, my hair is growing so much faster and I love it. And just I'm at this point where I have so much muscle definition and my voice is getting lower. And I still have to fight myself to not talk up here, just because it's ingrained in me to act feminine just from a young age. So I'm still breaking old habits, but every day I'm feeling more and more like myself and liking what I'm looking like in the mirror. And I plan on getting my name changed legally soon. And I'm so excited. But that's really it, guys. Thanks you for staying as long as you did. This is a 12-minute video. This is me talking about coming out and figuring out who I was. Um, so if you stayed this long, thank you. And I hope all of you had a great Pride Month and that you're able to be in safe, loving homes like I am. And we'll see where we are. Because I post a video every day. And so y'all get to really just see what becomes of me over the next year. But really, Saturday is the only day you guys get a video that was made that week. So if you're trying to see what updates there are, wait for Saturdays. Um, anyway, so thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a good day. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.